Hi guys, this is Paige. I wanted to make this video about some of the attributes of Satan and some of the attributes of God, and kind of like comparing them, and how we have to understand how Satan is also, so that we can see that in our sinful nature and recognize that it's not of God. Alright, so basically in this world, God made it that things that look foolish in this world actually are things that he likes the most. Like the verse, like, it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save those that believe, so he's pleased, like when we preach the gospel or like talk about God and stuff, like it can look foolish to lost people. Like it'll look foolish to them because they'll look at it like a fairy tale. Like not all of them, but you know what I'm saying? It looks foolish. The same thing with humbleness. Like when you lower yourself to other people, it looks foolish and it looks weak. It looks weak. And some of the things that God likes the most make you look weak, and he loves that because he hates pride, okay? So Satan has pride, okay? And God, like Jesus, is lowly in heart. He's very humble. He doesn't think he's better. Like when he was on earth, he just didn't think he was better than anyone else, okay? Like he still doesn't, obviously. But, he's God. But I'm saying, like, he came here as a servant. Like he didn't come as a king. He's a king, he is a king, but he came as a servant. He washed the feet of the disciples. Like that's how he lowered himself, And when we lower ourselves in this world, it's like shaming, and God loves that. I feel like you get a reward in heaven when you do it. Like say if someone comes and like tells you they're hurt by you or something like that, and you really don't feel like you did anything wrong against them, but you humble yourself and you apologize to that person, God loves that, and you get a reward in heaven. That's what I really feel. Because he likes it when we do the right thing, and we care about other people's feelings, and we make peace with people, like when we humble ourselves to make the peace, and we do what's right in the sight of God. Like sometimes I'll just apologize to people, like because I want to make sure I'm right, with God, and that I didn't do anything wrong in this situation. Even though I feel like I probably don't really need to apologize, I just do it anyway, just to make peace and stuff like that. Because we're gonna have to give an account to God, and I want to make sure I'm cleared with Him, and that I'm like, like just covering myself, that I hope I didn't do anything wrong with other people and stuff like that, and so I'll just apologize in case I hurt them or anything like that. Like God loves that, okay? God loves a pure heart, a contrite heart, like a heart that's just so sorry for anything that they could have done wrong, That's what he loves. Yeah. And I have sisters I have some relationships with sisters, and we're all humble with each other. Like I have, 2 close sisters, and we're humble, to have a good relationship. You have to have that, because if you don't, the devil will destroy your relationship, because he's always trying to get his little foot in there, and get us all offended with each other. So humbleness is actually strong, and pride is actually weak. In in reality, that's really how it is. And like also, Satan is just very emotionlessness and cold, okay? And that can look like cool in this world, but really that's weak. Because like being emotional looks weak, but it's actually strong. Like God is emotional. Jesus is emotional. Jesus wept, okay? Jesus has like a beating heart of like mercy and love for people and compassion on people. He's not cold at all. God is not cold or cruel at all. And like people can think being emotional is like weak or crying is weak. It's really not, you know? And like if you have any type of coldness in you or at all, an emotionlessness, that is from the devil. And you really need to work on those things because we want to make sure we have a heart of God. We want to have a heart of God. God is emotional. And I'm not saying emotional in the wrong way of like angry, like really angry. Like we don't want to be sinning with it. Like we don't want to have like extreme anger or something. But I mean emotional, like, you know, you feel things, you feel emotions and you're open with it. Like that's how you relate to other people. As ministers of Christ, we should be relatable, you know, not hiding our feelings, you know, because when you're relatable, then other people feel, you know, like comfortable to come and relate to you and share their feelings because you're not going to judge them and stuff. Like Paul said, he became all things so he could save some. Like he wanted to relate to people. Like when I make these videos, I tell people like my experiences and like I share my heart with people so that they can feel safe to come and share their, you know, stuff with me, and I'm not going to judge them, you know? Like people feel safe in a space of unconditional love. That's the type of thing you want to exude towards other people. That, you know, not coming from a place of judgment, but coming from a place of unconditional love and care for them, that you want them to be saved, you know. Yeah, so I just wanted to make that video about humbleness. And basically looking emotional in this world looks weak, but I'm never gonna like apologize for being emotional because Jesus himself is emotional, because he feels things, and it's okay to. If you don't feel emotions, like then your heart is not yet like a heart of flesh totally. Like you still need conforming, you know. If you're really cold and emotionless and don't feel actual feelings for other people's sufferings, and like, you know, you feel sorry for them, or you don't, you know, you don't feel anything like that, then your heart still needs to be conformed more, because it's not just about like having a will to love people. You actually feel love for people when God gives you like a new heart. And I was saying in another video, the goal is to like feel love for people who mistreat you too, you know, that really badly mistreat you, and that can happen as well. So it's not really just about, you know, just having a will to love people. You will feel it. Like God can change your heart to that level, and that's him. Like he feels things. God feels things. He cries. He feels like compassion. He feels tenderness. Like he is not cold at all, you know? So those are good things to identify. Like if you think you're better than other people, and if you're cold and emotional at all, those things are all of Satan, and they have to be worked on. Because like God is humble, God is emotional, in the right way, and he's loving, you know? He's not cold and cruel. Jesus, like in the Bible, he did say some harsh things, okay? But he did that for the glory of God, and he did that for good. Like he didn't do it to hurt people. Okay? God doesn't do that. God doesn't like get pleasure out of hurting other people. You know, that's of Satan. God does everything for good, and if we suffer here, it's for our good in the end, because he loves us. He doesn't. That's not him. Like, we have to keep getting to know him and his characteristics. Like, he is unconditional love, man, for his children, and like, you know, he's like so long suffering for the lost, you know, and we want to become like that. We want to become like him, you know? We don't want to become like Satan, because Satan is weak. His attributes are weak. It's cold. To be cold and emotionless is weak, you know? And to actually be emotional is strong. Every attribute of God is strong. To be kind is to be strong. To be cruel is to be weak, you know? Yeah. So, alright guys, I just wanted to talk about that, and that's good for us to look at, because we don't want to have a heart like of stone, like Satan. We want to have a heart of flesh, and we want to have a heart after God, a kind, pure heart, like that has unconditional love for other people and cares about their suffering and is compassionate and actual feelings, you know, for others. Like, you feel it. And God can get it there, you know what I mean? If you're struggling with that. Yeah, so I love you guys. Be blessed.